Just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded for future reference by anyone in the town. So I want to welcome all of you for attending tonight. As I mentioned, Scott will not be joining us, unfortunately, even though he's got a major part of the meeting, but we'll do our best to get through the material that he sent us and hopefully make some decisions tonight. But I appreciate you all being here. First action tonight is to approve the minutes from our last meeting on November 18th. So I will accept a motion to approve.
Darren Boston, make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you, Darren.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Is there any discussion on the minutes? All righty. Josh, thank you again for taking such detailed minutes. They help me tremendously when I go back and refresh my memory from what we discussed. So thank you for that. So let's have a roll call vote on that, please.
Okay, Ed?
Yes.
Leonie?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Darren?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
All right, thank you. All right, next item we have is public comment. I see we have two folks that have joined us tonight, Mark and Matt. I don't know if either one of you is planning to speak or you have anything you'd like to say, but if you would, the floor is yours right now. If you'd like to speak, just raise your hand. Okay, hey Matt, welcome. Josh, can you unmute him, please?
Thanks, Ed. Just to follow up on the emails I had sent to you, I'm the secretary of the Board of Trustees for the Public Library, and I'm just at the meeting today to answer any questions or support the charter amendment request that we had sent over earlier.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if there was a miscommunication between you and I. We haven't got to that section of the charter yet where we're going to be talking specifically about the library trustees. I believe that's Article 3.
Yep.
We're still hashing out Article 2. So I don't think we'll get to Article 3 tonight, but hopefully by our next meeting, which is 2 weeks from tonight. So I will issue you a formal invite to attend where we can have you lay out, what you've already sent me. So appreciate that.
No problem. Happy to sit and observe the proceedings anyway. So
excellent. We're glad you joined. Thank you. Mark?
Just here to observe. I saw a little bit of your good presentation to the town council, but I missed part of it, and I'm just looking to be an informed citizen.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate your interest. Thank you. Okay, I see that Janet is joining. Let's just wait a second. I do have a piece of committee business that I'd like to address right now. I know it's not on the agenda before we actually get into our business, old business. Hi, Janet. You're on mute. Welcome. Glad you could join. So we have a situation right now where one of our members has a commitment now on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. So she's asked me, it's Cleone, she's asked me if it's possible that we could either adjust the time to start an hour earlier. So the meeting would start at 6 and go from 6 to 8. Or we would potentially have to change the date to a time that would work for everybody. So I'd like to try and accommodate this situation for Cleone if we can. So I'd be interested in hearing any of your thoughts. I guess the easiest thing to do would be to just start the meeting at 6, but I know that some of you probably don't get home from work in time if you're, commuting, so forth. So why don't you guys let me know what you think?
I would prefer to start earlier if possible.
So 6 o'clock would work for you, Darren?
Yes.
Okay.
6 is fine with me too, as long as Josh is able to do that.
Good point. Does that work for you, Josh, or not?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. How about Janet?
6 would work. It might be tight, but if I'm a few minutes late, that would be fine. I get out of work at 5, but sometimes I work a little bit later, but I should be all right.
Okay. And I already discussed it with Scott earlier, that we'd be, discussing this, and he said he's okay with 6 o'clock. So it looks like that's probably the way to go then. If somebody wants to make a motion to sort of reset our start time to 6 p.m., and that would be great.
Ed, I'm going to step away for 1 second.
Okay. Cleone, I'm sorry, I should have asked you if you wanted to comment on that. Is there anything else you want to say about it, or?
Just thank you. I really appreciate the flexibility.
Right, you're going to have a busy Wednesday night, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of better to kind of just group everything together.
I see. Okay.
So,
All right. Does someone want to make a motion?
I, Steve Purcell,
I-
move to change our start time from 7 to 6 p.m.
Okay, is there a
I,
second?
Cleone Mainville, second it.
Great. Any further discussion? All right, if not, we'll take a roll on that. Josh?
Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tom, you didn't weigh in on that. You said no.
That's
You-
why I had stepped away from the computer to go talk to my other half.
Oh,
It's fine. We'll make it work. I'm like Janet, might be a few minutes late once in a while.
okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right, well, we'll make do. How's that? Some nights we may run over a little bit. Some night, whatever happens, happens, but we'll get the work done.
That's fine.
Thank everybody for your flexibility. I appreciate it. All right, moving quickly to the old business. I don't want to spend a lot of time on these, but I just want to run down sort of these items. The first item was just the council update that Tom and I did last week. I sent an email out. Hopefully you all got a chance to read that. Overall, I think it went really well. We had some good questions. I think the council has faith in what we're doing. And they are very appreciative for the time and effort and sacrifice that everyone's making, understanding that we've got a lot of work on our plates. But it also confirmed for me at this point that, our main focus is on the recommendations. And although I think we were trying to balance that with getting something out quickly, i.e. maybe something on the ballot for April, we got a little pushback on that from the town attorney, and I'm not sure all the council members, had bought into that anyway. So right now we'll just focus on moving forward and getting all of our recommendations done, and we'll let the process kind of work itself out. The citizen survey, that's done. I guess I just wanted to make sure that Tom and Cleone and Steve, that if somebody comes asking for the data, that we have it packaged in some format that we can either post it on on the website, or we can send it to somebody in a file.
So we have it in a redacted format, aka it doesn't have anybody's name on it. It's just the responses to the questions, no IP addresses, no identifiable information. So basically questions 3 through 11.
Okay. So do you think at this point we just kind of wait on it, and if somebody asks for it, we can send it to them, or?
Yeah.
Because we don't really have our own specific website to post stuff to.
No.
All right, good. Thank you
So
for that.
Tom, we're giving them the raw data, correct? Not the summary that you put together. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
basically I
you.
deleted columns A through E, and then whatever it was, A, C, I think was the IP address. And it's messy. It's not in any way understandable unless you know what you're doing with it.
Great. All right, thank you for that. I had also sent out some files to everybody today. One of those files was the latest version of the decision matrix. Cleone had gone through that to make sure that all of the key takeaways, Tom had as well, and Steve, you guys have all looked at it, but the decision matrix now contains the key takeaways from the survey. It also includes some of the items that I took notes on and went back and referenced in the minutes from the public forum. So at least we have some of those key items in there. The latest on the personnel questionnaire. Since our last meeting, I've received 3 additional responses. Got one from the police chief, the water superintendent, and I'm trying to remember who the other one was from. But I've got 11 now total. So we went from roughly a 40% response rate to a 50% response rate, which I still consider to be very poor. But it is what it is. And I think I also sent that out to you, the consolidated sheet. I don't think it contains the last one that I just got this afternoon from the police chief, but I'll send that out shortly. Okay, so that's that. Any questions on any of the old business before we jump into the charter?
I had a quick question, and I don't know if that falls under old business. As far as the interviews that will accommodate some of the personnel questionnaires, I don't know if we discussed it at the last meeting when I left early, but what is the process that we're going to do or take with that?
Yeah, so we have not discussed that yet, Cleone,
Okay.
because I've been kind of waiting to sort of get a final, a final readout. Now, I've got, I think, 2 outstanding that they have asked for extensions, which I've given them. And I still have not received them. But once we sort of shut the door on the questionnaire, then what I want to do is devote some time at one of our future meetings to kind of going through it. I'm going to be sending you all the updates to that file. So read through them, become familiar with some of the things that we're hearing from the town employees. And then we can do the same kind of thing we did with the survey is do some key takeaways. Right, and then we can apply them to the decision matrix so that we have that single reference point to go to. Does that answer your question?
It does. That's great. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's go to the charter then. Scott had sent out last night a proposal with his recommendations for changes to Article 2. I don't know if you've all had a chance to actually take a look at that yet. So this is what I'd like to do, if we can. Cleone, I know you need to leave at 8, and you said you had a couple of things that were either add-ons or different than what Scott had. Would you like to do your things first and then go through Scott's, or do you want to start going through Scott's, and when we get to a point where you want to interject, you can do that? How do you want to do it?
I think going through it in the order with Scott, because then I wouldn't want to go through all mine, then have to go back to his. It'd be appropriate for me, if I do have to leave before we get through Article 2, to submit mine with my write-ups in it.
Sure.
And then, okay.
Yeah, you can send that to the whole committee. That would be good. And then Steve, you have to leave early too, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll take votes. I mean, I hate to keep going and voting on things without the 2 of you, because I think this is important enough that we all need to weigh in. So maybe we'll just stop early tonight.
We won't have a quorum anyway, right?
We need 4. That's right. We won't have a quorum. That's right. We need 4.
We'd have 4.
That's right. It'll be you, Darren, Tom, Janet, and myself. But the question is, do we want to move forward and continue to vote with only 4 of us, or do we want to just wait?
Yeah, I mean, I would wait. You're missing half your committee plus.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, maybe, I mean, we're going to talk about term limits, and that's obviously an important item in Article 2. So maybe that's something we push off to the next meeting. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it goes here. So, all right. So starting at the what Scott sent us was just Article 2 with his.
Can we share screen? Are you able to share this?
I don't. I have it on my.
Oh.
I have it on my other computer right now. I don't have it up on this. This is my laptop that I Zoom from. I don't know if somebody can pull it up.
The one from Scott or the?
Yeah, the one from Scott.
Hold on.
We always look to you, Tom, as our technology expert here.
I take.
I hope you don't
responsibility
mind.
of Group nerd is fine by me.
I know, we kind of take advantage of you, Tom, sorry.
It's fine. There you go.
For some reason, this isn't showing his comments on the right, or is it? Oh, it is, but
It is.
It
it's
is.
just showing it in a different view for me. Okay,
What if I don't want to? Is that better? It's small.
That's too small.
come
Do a
up,
little-
come up. Yeah, come up.
Well,
That's
look.
good. Is that all right?
That
Yes.
looks
That's
fine to
okay.
me. I mean,
How about that?
That's good. Well, now it's cutting off on the right for me. Can you go back? Can you go back one?
Let me see. Can I do the middle? Will that work? Still no?
That's good. That's good, right? Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay, so at the beginning, section 2.1, composition, he's just basically doing, we're just doing the capitalizations there. So he says he moves to approve the capitalization changes to this paragraph. 2.1a. Is everybody okay with that? If so, I guess we're going to vote on each of these separately because that's what we decided last time. So would somebody like to make a motion to approve Scott's capitalization changes to the paragraph A?
Hi,
Cleone Mainville.
Go ahead, Cleone, take it.
I, Cleone Mainville, move to approve the capitalization changes to this paragraph.
Is there a second?
I second Tom Golden.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, Josh, roll call, please.
Ed,
Yes?
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, moving on to section B, eligibility. We have some capitalization things here as well, but we also, we discussed this a little bit last time. There seems to be a void in the, when a counselor moves from a district because of a change in the district lines, there was a gap that from less than 6 months to more than 14 months, that middle from the 6 months to the 14 months was omitted or something there. So
right.
Scott's recommending that we change the verbiage there to say, well, let me read the whole thing. If a district councilor moves from the district from which the councilor is elected or is removed by a change in district lines and more than 12 months remains on the term for which elected, the office shall be deemed vacant and shall be filled in the manner provided in section 2-5. If less than 6 months of the term remains, the district councilor who remains a resident of the town may continue to serve during the term for which elected.
No, he said change 6 months to 12 months. That's what we had discussed last time.
Right, and change the 14 months to 12 months too.
Right.
Yep. So is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, make a motion to approve section B.
I, Janet, motion to approve the change in section B of section 2.1.
I have a
Darren
quick
Boston, second
question.
it. Okay.
So when we're in B, I wanted to make sure that section 2-5 was a hyperlink, so that, because it's referenced here, do I wait or do we, after we do the months and then propose that we change 2.5 to a link? Or do we combine the ask in one motion?
So can I
that's-
make, my recommendation on this is I would wait to hyperlink anything until we're done with the charter. That way, if we add or change a section, like if 2.5 becomes 2.6 for some reason, like that might be one of the last things we want to do. I'm not saying not do it. I'm just saying wait till we're sure that the format is where we want it and sections are where they're going to end up.
That makes sense. I wanted to at least have on record that we're going to do that so that we won't forget. So that's a good point, Tom.
So I think, if you remember, Cleone, I think it was you last meeting, that recommended that any external references have a hyperlink. So it
Yeah.
sounds like
This is an internal but this is an internal
so you're expanding that
reference.
now to include any internal references have a hyperlink as well.
Correct.
So if somebody well, we have a motion on the floor from, I think, Darren.
Janet,
Janet made the motion
And I
to
seconded
approve,
it.
and Darren seconded to approve
Right.
the capitalization and the changes that Scott recommends. So let's vote on that, and then we'll come back and we'll vote separately on the linkages, okay? So if the motion was made, the motion's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Josh, are you clear?
That's approving.
Josh, are you
Approving
clear
what's on
on what
my
we're voting
screen.
on?
Yep. Capitalization and changes to section B of 2.1.
Yep,
To 12 months.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, roll call?
Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Okay, now let's go back and revisit the issue that Cleone raised about incorporating hyperlinks for any internal referenced areas of the charter. Would you like to state a motion, Cleone?
I, Cleone Mainville, motion that any internal or external references are hyperlinked for easy access.
Okay, is there a second?
I have a question on it, so.
Okay, you can ask the question.
Okay, so my only thing is I just want to make sure that by including a hyperlink, it's not gonna be inconsistent with like ADA guidelines on plain text and text reader softwares. Because I don't know if that screws it up.
To be honest with you, I'm not clear on what you're talking about.
So like if you have a visually impaired individual that has to use a text reader, does a hyperlink, is there a specific format we have to make sure to use for a hyperlink internal in a document that is accepted by the ADA for text readers?
So you're saying, for example, if a blind person
Yeah.
was going through the document and they came upon a hyperlink, if it wasn't set up for them to access, then they can't use it.
Yeah, like, or would it screw up or would it prevent the text reader from working or anything like that?
So how would we determine if that's an issue or not?
Ask Brandon in the IT department.
Okay. So we can either put this on we can sort of table this, I guess.
My recommendation, maybe if Cleone, if you wanted to amend your motion to say, upon final completion of the charter, include hyperlinks when possible, or something like that.
If technically doable.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're inclusive in that regard. So in full transparency, it's something I do at work a lot, so I just am personally self-conscious of it.
Okay.
So I, Cleone Mainville, motion to include hyperlinks when a reference is made, whether internal or external to the document, pending that there are no legal limitations in doing so.
Legal or technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Second on that?
I, Tom Golden, second that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any further discussion?
It sounds like a nice idea, but it also sounds like it's going to be almost a project within itself. Because we're reviewing the entire charter, and would be also reviewing where hyperlinks need to be added. I'm not sure how we would want to divide that up or accomplish that.
So what I would envision doing is either having someone on the committee, once we've got through the charter, have someone from the committee go through and identify all those locations that are going to require hyperlinks, and then determine how we're going to get those in there. So we may need some help doing it, Darren. I agree. It's not going to be trivial probably, but you know, if we vote to include them, we're going to have to investigate getting it done. So it's really a question of a what versus a how, right? So we're voting on the what we want to see happen. Then the other question is, how do you make it happen, right?
And also, I think we want to try to still prioritize, try to make sure we get accomplished the things that we really need to or want to accomplish. And maybe those might be a little lower priority.
Yeah. It's a point well taken, but I think right now it's sort of a thing that happens later on. So right now we're just voting on what we'd like to see happen in the charter. So let's see, where are we now? Did we already vote?
No, we
No.
didn't.
Vote, it's been seconded though.
Okay, so Josh, are you clear on the motion?
I can read it back if that helps.
Please.
Motion was that upon completion of the charter, hyperlinks are to be included for any internal or external references pending that there are no legal or technical limitations in doing so.
Perfect. All right, so let's take a roll call.
Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
No.
Darren,
No.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay. All right, moving down to 2-1C, this is term of office. The only thing here, these are the changes that were recommended by the Rules and Procedure Committee. I think we're all on board with that, so there's no changes there. Section D, can you scroll down a little bit, please,
Yep.
Tom? So section D is the prohibitions that basically talk about things that a counselor shall and shall not do to remain in office. Scott is asking a question here about whether we should add a fifth or modify the fourth one, either way, but adding something that would prohibit serving after a violation of a state ethics law. Because right now, number 4 talks specifically about being convicted of a criminal offense. Anybody have any opinions or views on that?
that's
So I
not
had a
already on.
related, but, oh, sorry.
No, that's right.
Janet, what?
I was just saying that's not already in there somewhere about ethics law. I would think there would be about
It's not about
ethics, but
ethics. This time it's about a previous ethics violation. So like if someone had an ethics violation with the state in 2000 and runs for office and gets elected in 2022, are they allowed to do it?
oh,
Right, there is an ethics section up in Article 1, I think, that we already discussed. Or maybe it's in a different article, but Tom's right. This really talks about having a previous violation and whether or not they can continue to serve.
I think it would be beneficial to have it in there.
I don't think it hurts.
Is it something that the lawyer should weigh in to see if we can prohibit that?
We can ask them, but I know we can. We're doing it here for a criminal offense.
Yeah.
The question is, when I was looking at this, and I kind of agree that we should have something in here about this, whether we should just update number 4 to say anybody that's been convicted of a criminal offense or a violation of a state ethics law.
Perfect.
Or we just duplicate number 4, make it a number 5, and just reference it as a state ethics violation.
I think you
I
should
would
add
say-
it to the same line.
Oh, see, I would say do make it number 5. That way, if the lawyer does tell us we can't have it, we can just delete number 5 rather than rechange number 4.
Okay,
I agree making a 5th.
okay. So are we ready to take a vote on this?
I had a quick question. On 4, it says any counselor who has been finally convicted. Do we need finally in there, or can we say just have been convicted?
I'm gonna guess that's a legal term related to. I shouldn't speak out of turn, but I think it's a legal term saying that the appeals process is done too.
Okay.
Let me Google.
Yeah, I mean, Scott would be able to answer that as a pending, by the way, he's waiting, he's supposed to get his bar exam results back this week or next week, so he's excited about how that's going to all play out. So I think for now, we'll leave it in there, and maybe he can weigh in on whether it means something specifically legally or not, you know, but.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sure it would, because person like has a, appeal process, the appeal process, and, some things are final, while others are not.
I just saw a comment from Matt, one of our citizens who joined, and he must have some knowledge on this, but he agrees with Tom that finally actually means the appeal process has been through as well. Thank you, Matt. All right, so we'll leave it in there, and let's, somebody may want to make a motion that we accept Scott's recommendation to add number 5, which prohibits serving after a violation of a state ethics law.
I, Darren Boston, make a motion to add section 5 with reference to the ethics laws.
I, Janet, second.
Okay. Might need to word that slightly differently, Josh.
Working on it a little bit here.
Okay.
I tried to edit this document, but I can't because it's in the stupid protected view.
So, I mean, if you just use what Scott said, add a section similar to number 4 that prohibits serving after a violation of a state ethics law.
Okay, I had that. Add section 5, which prohibits serving after violation of state's ethics law.
Right. So does that reflect, Darren, your motion?
Yes.
Okay, great. And thank you, Janet, for seconding. Okay, any further discussion on that? Okay, roll call.
Ed,
Yes.
Leonie,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now we get into term limits. This happens to be Scott's suggestion, or what he believes the rewrite should look like. I sent out a document this morning with the other ones that I sent out, which were suggestions from myself and Janet. We can probably spend the rest of the meeting talking about this. So what would you guys prefer to do? Would you prefer to do this now or just keep moving and then come back to this next meeting?
I would say finish everything else in section 2 because it doesn't look super substantive, and wait till you have a larger representation of the committee to do that one.
Okay, there may be a couple things we're going to have to spend more than a minute on, but I would agree that the term limit is the major one in this. And I don't know that if you guys have had a chance to look at what I sent you, or you had done your homework to think about what you thought made sense. Do I have, I mean, we're not supposed to do consensus, but I'm not going to take a vote on this. Are we okay with moving beyond this and coming back to it?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Why don't we do that then? All right, so moving down, section 2-2, general powers and duties. Scott's motion to approve all the capitalization changes. So this is pretty much everything that the Rules and Procedures Committee had recommended.
Can you go down on the screen? I don't see it.
What do you want to see?
Are we doing 2-2?
No.
dash-
Yeah. So
I
this
Yeah, we-
is
can't see.
2-2.
We're doing just 2-2, that one small section. So take a motion to
So there's
approve.
one thing I want to point out, Ed, in 2-2 point, what is this? 2-2 C.
I think in 2-3.
That's 2-3.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, 2-2 is very, very small.
My bad.
So is there a motion to approve the capitalization changes to 2-2?
I motion to approve that.
I,
Steve
Janet,
Purcell,
second.
second.
Thank you, Janet. Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, roll call.
Ed,
Yes?
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
You. All right. Moving on to section 2-3, which talks about the council president, how the president's elected, how they become eligible, what the term of office is, and the powers and duties. Most everything at the beginning here is all capitalization stuff.
I had a comment that wasn't captured. So it says here, the president shall preside at all meetings of the town council. And I was wondering if we could propose a different wording to make it just more accessible to folks that have different lifestyles or commitments, and suggest that if we could put like they can't miss 2 consecutive meetings, or that they can attend remotely. My concern about that requirement is, again, unintentionally excluding folks that cannot be at every single meeting.
So are you specifically talking about 2-3C1?
2-3A.
Two
Unless
dash-
I'm looking at the wrong version.
Oh, you're talking about the eligibility, the election?
If the, let's see, this.
So,
see,
I thought you were
So
talking about
toward the
C1.
third to last sentence under election. And it's, unless I misinterpreted what it says, where the cursor is now. The president shall preside at all meetings of the town council and perform such other functions as may be assigned by the charter. So I'm talking about, does the president, he or she, have to be at all meetings, or say that they can't miss 2 consecutive meetings, or can?
so just
To
like,
hold that position.
well, just like any member of the council, life happens, and sometimes the president cannot make the meeting. So there's a vice president as well. So when the president can't make it, the vice president fills in. So, but I think what it's just basically saying here is that when the president attends, the president will preside, meaning
I
will take
see.
the leadership role. Is that helpful?
It is, and now that I see shall, that usually, that speaks to what you're saying. It's not must.
Yeah. Okay. Good catch though, Cleone. All right, so if we move down, we can just see all the capitalization changes here. I think until we come to C5, maybe.
Yep, C5 or C6.
So let's just read C5. The council president, in conjunction with the town manager, shall prepare and deliver a yearly state of the town message to the town on or before March 15th of each year. Okay, again, those are changes from the Rules and Procedure Committee. And then down on 6, Scott removed the requirement for the newspaper publication.
I actually had a comment on 4,
You want to go back up one, okay?
just to 4. It says not to exceed 7 days. Do we need to say 7 business days, or it doesn't matter?
Is it 7 calendar days or business
It's
days?
calendar days.
Yeah.
Exceed 7, okay. Should we specify that, or we don't need to be that specific?
Not unless you're adding a qualifier to that, like business days, except holidays or anything like that. Otherwise, it's assumed to be calendar days.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
No, this is all good clarification. Okay, so getting back to 5. 5 is okay. That's, I think we're in agreement with that. And we get down to 6, and Scott's suggesting that we remove, it says the notices shall be posted on the town bulletin board. You all know what that is?
No,
I think there's actually several bulletin boards. One is in the town hall. There might be another one at the library maybe. But the town clerk is responsible. It's a physical bulletin board where notices are published. So what it says here is the notices shall be posted on the town bulletin board and posted on the town's official website. And I think what Scott is saying here is, the whole subject of publishing in a newspaper is something that has really become archaic. And it costs the town a ton of money. He was saying that, I wasn't aware of this, but a major portion of the town council budget is just paying for stuff that has to go in the paper to let people know, what's going on. And the issue is, who really reads the newspapers? If you did a study, a cost benefit analysis of that, you might find that, it's not really worth it. And so this becomes an issue not only here, but in any time throughout the, I hear you, Mark, but we can override state law in our charter. We can basically say what we want to say that happens with this. So, and if we're wrong on this, the town attorney will come back and tell us that, sorry, but this has to stay in. So.
I have a comment.
Yep.
I think regardless of whether or not you think people aren't reading the paper, I have one, my husband reads the paper from front to back. He'll be picking up things. There are people who read a paper. Not everybody goes on a website. My husband doesn't know anything about computers. So to limit, you could do the same thing saying, well, some people don't have computers. You can't, you have to reach everybody, and reaching everybody is not by eliminating some way that they find their information, regardless of how many people you think read the paper. That would be the same as how many people go to the town website, how many people go to the town bulletin. I realize it costs money, but I personally don't think there's enough publication or ways for people to get information. They don't have that knowledge, but I say keep it in the newspaper. I don't think it's fair to those that don't have access any other way.
Yeah, I have, part of me
I feel
feels the
strong
same.
about that.
Part of me feels the same way, Janet. We don't want to exclude anybody, but at the same case here, we've got what, 28,000, whatever the number of registered voters in the town is. Say we only had 25 people out of the 28,000 that were reading the newspaper. Does that mean we continue to
But you don't-
spend? I know that I'm being unrealistic here, but I'm saying if it's a very small number of people that are actually reading the newspaper out of the wider mass of people in the town, then most people are using electronic media these days to get their information. I know that some people don't, but the majority of people are using electronic media. At what point do you say that the number of people are so small that it's not worth spending the money to reach that small group of people?
Well, what I'm saying is that you're not reaching a lot of people now. Think of the responses you get. You're not reaching a lot of people now. You eliminate one more thing and you may be losing out on other people. I just think it's, unless newspapers don't exist anymore, I think you need to keep it in.
Okay.
People do read the newspaper. The people that spend the money on the newspaper are going to read it.
Yep. Okay, good point. Anyone else want to comment on that?
I mean, I hear what Janet's saying. I agree with, I think that the newspaper requirement, however, though, I agree with Scott. Like, I would take it out. If someone has questions, like, there's other venues for them to get non-electronic that information. aka like call the town, go into the town hall, non-COVID.
Or maybe,
But you're
I'm
gonna
under
go
the
into
same-
the town hall on a daily basis. You know, I just think it should, and if it's required by state law too, publication, might not want to be messing with that, but.
But
Maybe
so
not
I don't
in-
think all town meetings have to be in the newspaper 2 weeks beforehand, right? Like right now, like us for a classic, perfect example, we have to post it 48 hours in advance on the town website, but we don't have to do it we don't have to post it in the newspaper 2 weeks ahead of time. Like, can we still invite and have 2 people tonight that found the meeting?
So remember, this specifically is talking about
Those 2
the
special meetings.
annual state of the town meeting.
Right.
So it's one meeting that we're posting in the newspaper once a year.
And
So,
it also doesn't specify which newspaper, like,
yeah, I mean, they have whatever they posted in the Enterprise, the Patriot Ledger, whatever they posted in, I'm not sure. But I mean, I guess if I'm thinking about the importance of the annual state of the town meeting and it's only in there once a year, then I guess I'm okay with leaving it in there.
Yeah, if you're talking, especially if you're talking about something that's only a couple times.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I have to say, when I first read it, I was like, oh yeah, let's get rid of the publication and the newspaper. It seems so dated, but based on what Janet just shared, I'm in agreement, for the few that rely on paper, not excluding it as long as there is a circulation. The paper is in business because someone's buying it, someone's using it, and the term here says general circulation within the town. And so if they haven't gone under, then someone's buying it, and I wouldn't want to eliminate that resource for them as far as getting notified about this annual meeting.
Okay. Is Darren still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What do you feel about this, Darren?
Yeah, I agree that it might be good to keep it there, not to remove it. I mean, it's some people, maybe that's where they get their information and would be taking away, a resource from them.
Okay. Steve?
First, I was against, I was for taking it out of the newspaper because I think that it's a waste of money. The cost benefit is just not there. However, if it's really just about the 2 annual meetings, then there's no reason to take that out. However, I think that it would deserve some clarification to specify that that only the 2 meetings have to be posted in the newspaper.
Okay, well, there are other points in the charter that do talk about publication. So we'll have this discussion again when we get to that, to those areas. But it sounds like we have sort of reached consensus on this one that I think everybody is saying for the 2 meetings, we should continue to post it in the paper. So let's just take Scott was suggesting, he didn't make a motion, but he suggested removing the requirement. And I guess what we're saying is we want to keep it in, right?
Yep.
So
Move on.
I mean, I'll make a motion on that.
Okay,
I would say I motion to approve all the recommended changes from Scott, except the one where he removed the sentence, publication in a newspaper of general circulation for section 2.3 of the charter.
can you scroll down?
Yep, sorry, I can see it, I guess.
I can see at the very bottom. So, okay, so this is the very end of section 2.3. Okay, anyone else want to second that?
I,
second
Janet,
it.
second. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Janet. Yeah.
I second.
Anybody want to third it? Okay, I think we've had enough discussion. Why don't we take a vote, Josh?
Sure.
Are you you clear on the motion?
I might just have a question for the last part of it with the removal of the publication requirement.
So we're gonna leave the publication requirement in the newspaper there.
Okay, so all the other changes are
Yeah.
being motioned for recommendation.
Yeah,
Correct.
everything except what's highlighted on my screen, we're motioning to approve. The highlighted thing, we're not going to do that.
Okay. All right.
We're keeping the newspaper in there,
Correct.
Yeah.
right?
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. I will go ahead with the roll call vote. Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you, Josh. All right, can you scroll down, please, Tom?
Nope.
We're in section 2-4, which is the vice president now.
Sorry, it's a poorly placed space.
And we got some capitalization changes. And the Rules and Procedure Committee had added that qualified at the next regular meeting in accordance with provisions of section 2-3.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve the changes recommended for section 2.4 of the charter.
I, Darren Boston, seconded.
Okay, thank you, guys. Any discussion? Okay, Josh, another
I
roll
lost
call?
you.
Oh, Janet, have a question?
No,
Oh.
I've lost the thing. I'll have to get back. I can hear you and everything. I just can't see you yet.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
we can see you though.
Yeah, I lost Zoom here for a second. This happens every time. I never know how I get it back, but I get it back.
So you just
I'll be down
lost,
there on your,
you
bottom
lost
of
the
your screen
shared
somewhere.
screen? Is that what you lost?
Yeah,
Hold
I
the
can see
Alt button
everybody,
and
but I
hit tab.
can't see this. Pardon me?
Hold the Alt button on your
What?
keyboard and hit Tab twice.
Oh. What key?
The
Hit the
tab
what?
key, it's the top third key down on the left-hand side. So you'll see Escape, tilde, Tab. Unless you're on a Mac, then I
Tab,
got
yeah.
nothing for you. So if you hold Alt, hit Tab twice.
I'm
then
on a
hit-
Mac.
Yeah, then I can't help you.
You're on a Mac?
Yeah,
Or
Oh.
Apple, whatever you folks call that thing nowadays.
I'll get it back. This has happened before, so I can
Okay.
hear you though.
All righty, well,
Swipe up on your keypad.
so I think, are we gonna take a roll call on this?
Yep. I can go ahead and do that. Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next section is 2-5, which is the filling of vacancies on the council. First one, counselor at large, and mostly just, all capitalization.
Yep. It's all capitalization in 2.6. Or 2.5, my bad.
By the way, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but once we get through Article 2, by doing what we're doing, we're going to go back then and relook at the decision matrix, because we've got a bunch of recommendations that came into the decision matrix that may apply in Article 2. So we'll have to come back through and look at those and say, see where, if and where they belong. So just mentioning that now. Okay, so it looks like we have all capitalization in section 2-5. And somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I, Darren Boston, make a motion to approve the capitalizations in section 2-5.
I, Thomas Golden, second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, Josh, roll call, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you. All right, section 2-6. I know that Steve and Cleone are going to have to drop momentarily. So we decided that we can't continue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so 2-6 is also all capitalization,
No, go back up, please.
is except for that takeout there, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, so the Rules and Procedure Committee decided to take out, and copies of the rules shall be available in the office of the town council during regular and special meetings of the council. So Rules of Procedure. I mean, do we think it's important enough?
where are you right now? Because I'm looking on my iPad for what the screen would show.
Section 2-6C, Rules of Procedure.
The last sentence.
So,
Sorry.
and
Okay.
so we're in C now. So the line before that, the rules shall be available for public inspection at the office of, I wanted to suggest that it's also available online, because the way I interpreted this was that they have to go in the office physically. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes. Yeah, I
And
think that's,
so I wanted to propose online availability as well.
so on, available on the town website.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. I'm okay with taking out copies because I don't think the town needs to be making a bunch of copies just sitting there for people to take home with them. I'm not sure that makes sense. Because if
I
they
mean,
make it,
I agree with Cleone. Just say town of the office of the town clerk and on the town's official website.
okay.
Yeah, that
So
makes
the
sense.
So the motion will read, Cleone, you make the motion since it's your suggestion.
I, Cleone Mainville, motion that the rules shall be made available for public inspection on the town's website.
Well, you're saying in an inspection at the office of the town clerk
I like on the website.
and on the town website?
Yes. Should I say that again?
Yep.
Okay, I, Cleone Mainville, motion that the rules shall be available for public inspection at the office of the town clerk as well as on the town's website.
Perfect. Second?
Are we able to make it an or? So public
No.
inspection at the office or town website? Or does it have to be the town
Right.
website or office?
Well,
I
I
Should
think,
be both.
yeah, it should
Yeah, I
be
would do
both.
and then it's available in both places.
Yeah. I second the motion.
Thank you, Darren. Any further discussion? Josh, are you clear on the motion?
Yep.
Okay.
So just real quick, you're saying that it has to be at the inspection, at the office?
Yeah, just one copy of it. Like someone wants to see it, they can check it out, look at it.
Okay,
At the town
all right,
clerk.
yeah, okay, yeah, I got you.
So if they don't have a computer, what have you, like, there you go.
Okay, let's get a roll call, Josh?
Ed,
Yes.
Cleone,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you.
Right. I gotta get off, so.
So Steve,
I have to run.
thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you.
the night.
Bye.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Yep. So guys, we still have a quorum, right?
Technically, yes.
So I think we should go forward, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, we've decided to push term limits off till the next meeting. We can continue to go through here and vote on all these other changes. If we come up to something that we feel the other members should be participating in, we can include that with the term limit discussion.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Like grammatical changes, we don't need everybody to stand here and tell us to capitalize town council.
Right. So let's keep making some progress here. So we on B now, quorum, and C, rules of procedure.
Well, here, I'll make this motion. So since we've already taken care of the thing under C, everything else in section 2.6 is grammatical. There's no other like major deletions or additions. So
Yep.
So I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve all other changes in section 2-6 of the charter.
I, Darren Boston, second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, Josh, roll call on that.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes,
thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to section 2-7. This talks about measures, emergency measures, and how to conduct a charter objection. So the first change that the Rules of Procedure Committee made here was they struck out the measures not subject to referendum, and they just said basically required by Mass General Law shall become effective 30 days after final passage.
I think we talked about this last time, right? Like
Yeah.
30 days, we think is sufficient time for people to comment on the changes before they become effective.
Yeah, I think that's a different one, though. That's where they went to 72 hours,
Yeah.
but that's not this one. So I think we're in agreement on this one here.
Right.
30 days, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
72 is too short.
yep.
Well,
Well, this
different
isn't-
issue. I was referring to like, we all agree that 30 days is a reasonable time frame for anything,
Right.
just as a
Right.
general principle.
Okay, so moving down, we see a couple more capitalization items here. So number 3, under C, they added this statement: a charter objection shall have privilege over all motions, but must be raised prior to or at the call for a vote by the presiding officer, and all debate shall cease. So
Which one were you reading again? I'm sorry.
under
2.7
charter
C.
objection, which C, we're talking number 3.
Number 3. Right, thanks.
You looking at the rules and procedure version?
So all they did was move that up from below item 4.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was down below and they moved it up. So it's just a replacement of it. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
No, it's all good.
Okay. So anyone want to make a motion to approve the charter objection section?
I, Darren Boston, make a motion to approve the charter objection section, the changes that were made.
Okay.
Did we, Darren, can I ask you to amend that to just 2.7, 2-7, all of it? Because we didn't cover this stuff yet.
Yes, we did. I thought we just did the measures or not? No? Josh, what was the last motion that was made?
It was 30 days, wasn't it? The third.
I thought it was 2.6, my bad. Maybe
I
What's that?
thought we were still on 2.6 at that. No, that's 2.7.
Yeah.
That's why we have Josh to keep us on track.
Tom motioned to approve all other changes in 2-6. That was
Yes,
the
we
whole.
Okay.
So now, Darren, if you want to amend your current motion to section 2.7.
Yeah. So I make a motion to approve all the changes in section 2.7.
I, Thomas Golden, second that motion.
Okay, can you just scroll down? I want to be able to see everything to the bottom. Okay, there we are. Okay. All right, any further discussion on section 2-7? Okay, Josh, roll call, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you. All right, moving on to section 2-8, which talks about the council staff. First couple of paragraphs, just capitalization. Then we get into the publication requirements. All right, so let's vote on section 2-8.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve the changes recommended for section 2.8 of the charter.
Darren or Janet, you want a second?
Yeah, that's just,
I'll
Yeah, that's
second,
just-
I'll
yeah.
second it.
Yeah.
Darren Buss
That's-
second the
yep.
motion.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? If none, Josh, roll call?
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes,
Janet,
yes,
thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you. All right, getting into section 2-9, which is publication requirements. You can see Scott's comment here. He says, I'm trying to strike a balance between no requirement for public notice and strict publication requirements of the original charter. So the Rules and Procedure Committee said that every proposed ordinance or loan order, except emergency measures, as here and before defined in revenue loan orders, shall be published in accordance with the requirements of Mass General laws posted on the town's official website. They removed posting in a newspaper. And then it says, and posted in any additional manner that may be provided by ordinance at least 10 days prior to its final passage.
And this stuff is still in here. That's not struck.
Yeah, but what is that? What is that? Final
No idea
passage.
what that-
In
I think that
accordance
was an
with the
error.
posted- And posted in an additional.
Yeah, I think
manner
that's an
that
error. I think
may
that's supposed to go because
be
that doesn't makes no sense.
Well, let's what they've got, what they struck out was, let's see, at least 10 days before its final passage, provided, however, that if any ordinance or proposed ordinance or codification of ordinances or proposed ordinances shall exceed 8 pages. Yeah, so they should have struck that out.
Yeah. I just
So
wanna be
are we
clear on that.
okay? Are we okay with just saying published in accordance with the requirements of Mass General laws? Which we don't know what those are necessarily, but then it says, and posted on the town's official website, period, and then, or posted in any additional manner that may be provided by ordinance.
Yeah, I mean, I would do, can you guys see when I highlight a paragraph like this?
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
Like I would do all of that. I would do and on the website and posted in any additional manner. I would, as it stands like that.
Okay,
If we're focused on accessibility of information, posting on the town's website is not a cost prohibitive thing. And then any additional manner gives an extreme amount of latitude to do something that's most effective.
so I guess I'm trying to understand, is this actually Scott's recommendation?
What does Scott say on the,
Well, it says, he says,
right-hand side?
he says, I'm trying to strike a balance between no requirement for public notice and strict publication requirements of the original charter. So I think this is his verbiage.
I agree. Well, I think he struck out the one newspaper of general circulation within the town. He struck that part of it.
Oh, once in full and at least one newspaper of general circulation within the town.
Right. So his ad was in the requirements of Mass General law, posted on the town's official website. And then instead of in a newspaper, he said, and posted in any additional manner that may be provided in ordinance at least 10 days prior to final passage. Meaning that if a newspaper is the best way, that's an additional manner that's sufficient. If newspaper isn't the most effective way, then use something else.
So Tom, I'm actually now looking at a paper copy that I printed of the rules and procedures recommendations, and section 2-9 is exactly what's here. So there's no changes that Scott made.
From Scott's, the rules and procedures took out the newspaper thing then.
Yeah, they did. So I don't know when he says trying to strike a balance, I don't know what he's doing to say that, you know?
Yeah. Can I do, does that change anything? Oh, I just lost it. Hold on. There we go.
The original one, I'm looking at the original that's dated 2015. No, not original. It's the I don't know which one version this is. It says 2014, submitted 2015.
That's the original Charter Review Committee version.
Yeah, that's, what's wrong with that one?
Well, what is it?
All that Scott did
Oh.
here, he didn't make any additional changes. It doesn't look like. He just highlighted it and made that comment.
Hold on a minute. I'm looking at what Janet is looking at. So what they had the published once in full in at least one newspaper.
And it also says, and that, or the town's official website and other electronic media as available and appropriate.
Appropriate,
That would
yeah.
cover things too. It shouldn't be or the town's website, it should be and the town's website. But saying other electronic media is available and appropriate, that's covers a lot of things too.
It doesn't say or. It's, I mean, with the way it reads right now, it says shall be published in accordance with the requirements of Mass General Law, comma, posted on the town's official website, comma, and posted in any additional manner that may be provided by ordinance at least 10 days prior to its final passage. So I think that,
That's in the, yeah, depending on which one you're looking at.
yeah. I don't think we need to say other electronic media because that's already being addressed when you say and posted in any additional manner that may be provided by
Right.
ordinance.
Right.
So I think we should be able to vote on this as written right here. Unless someone has another opinion.
I mean, I like the way it's written. I like the additional manner giving the latitude to update the delivery methods as, time permits.
Right. And if the town council feels that there should be some additional way to do this, then they can issue an ordinance and it becomes law, basically, that if it has to be posted on Facebook
Right.
or it has to be posted somewhere else, they can issue that. So I will accept a motion to approve as written, section 2-9.
And I, Thomas Golden, will motion to approve section 2.2-9 with the changes here.
Second,
Darren Boston will second the motion.
okay. Any further discussion? All right, Josh, we're going to vote on section 2-9, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to section 210, delegation of powers.
And don't forget, we have to re-vote on all this stuff anyway, so if we change our mind on it later, it's...
Yeah, we haven't talked about that, how we're going to do that. If we're going to do it at the very end, we're going to come back and do another go through. I don't know,
Yeah.
but let's go back up to 210, please.
Yep.
And that's just really grammatical changes.
So is 211, just for the
Yep.
record.
Well, let's do each individually. That's what we've been doing. So someone may make a motion to approve section 210.
I, Darren Boston, make a motion to approve the changes in section 210.
I, Tom Golden, second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? Sound like a broken record. All right, Josh, roll call, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Did you say Janet?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you, Josh. Section 211, same thing. We want to approve for grammatical changes.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to approve section 2-11.
I, Darren Boston, second the motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, Josh, section 211.
Tom, or I'm sorry, Ed,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next section was the original prohibitions, term limits, which was moved up front. We postponed that discussion till next time. Section, which now becomes the new section 212. is compensation and expenses, and this gets into the stipend, which I don't think we want to talk about here tonight. And the four of us, I think that's another one of those controversial items that we're going to need to talk about as a full team. So I recommend that we postpone that till next meeting. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. I would ask that you guys, think about this before our next meeting and come up with an opinion, whether you agree with what's written here or you want to tweak it. And maybe even go and look at MGL Chapter 268A, Section 19, and see what that talks about.
So the other thing I would, not to diverge too much into this discussion before next week, in talking with a friend of mine that is doing this for another municipality nearby, they are adding a stipulation that it starts with a base and theirs is going to be $2,500, but will be adjusted annually thereafter based on a consumer price index formula.
Uh-huh.
So basically it's going to go up like 2.25% a year in perpetuity to kind of adjust for the cost of inflation. I don't know if we want to get that crazy, but it's a thing.
That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I think.
I have opinion on that already, but
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, let's just noodle on that one for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I have my opinion, and I'm gonna guess it's the same as yours, Janet. But just throwing it out there, food for thought.
No, I think that's good, Tom. Keep doing it. It's interesting to see what other towns are doing. Is that the end of section? Is that the end of Article 2?
Yes, it is.
Great. Okay. Well, we made good progress tonight, and we got the two key items to talk about next time, and then I'm going to invite Matt, who is on tonight, who is still on. I'm going to invite him, I think, next meeting, and we can begin to have discussions about the library trustee recommendations. Okay. All right. So new business, that ends the old business. New business was to discuss the term limit modifications, but we pushed that off till next meeting. We have another opportunity for public comment here. Any further comments from either Mark or Matt? Mark?
First of all, you guys are doing a great job. It's very nice to see the thoroughness. Just a suggestion, on the school building committee, we did like a separate website, apps different from the town, to publicize all the updates for every single meeting. And I had sent a text to Josh in the chat, and he said to bring it up with you guys. Maybe you might want to do that, and you can have like, as you're updating the charter, with the minor corrections and stuff, it could, go up. I don't know how the approval's going to go, because I remember, Ed, you saying that, the non-controversial stuff was going to be done, and it wasn't. I don't think it's a ballot. I'm not sure how the procedure is going to go, but if you want to keep people informed, because it's hard to get stuff on the town website, it really is. So from what I understand, because I wasn't on the school building committee before, the district decided to set that up, and 2 school committee members are kind of responsible for it. And every town meeting, you hear Mike Dutton under his manager's report. So if you want more information, go to www.schoolbuildingproject.com, and you can get more information than you'd ever practically want. So just a suggestion, if that works. I look for the meetings, and I look on the site just to see when certain meetings I want to go to are. So that's why I came, and I had missed a couple, just I wasn't able to be here. You're also, the next meeting that you guys have 2 weeks from now is a very important controversial planning board meeting. So I'm just letting you guys know that it's a kind of a conflict. Theirs is at 6:30, yours is now at 6. And I hope it's not the last time that someone could make a public comment about term limits, because I would love to speak on that under public comment. But it's affecting District 6 and downtown and everything, the Broad Street project. So, that and the pay, I'd love to be. Do you take written comments too?
You can send any written comments you want to me directly, and I disseminate to the committee, and yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for your comments. Appreciate the time that you've taken tonight to sit in and listen. just to let you know, we do not have our own website. So all of our meeting agendas have been posted. We had an issue with our minutes, but now those are all, that's been rectified. All of our minutes are posted. So, I mean, if we do want to, I guess we would have to talk about that as a committee in terms of whether we want to keep posting all of our charter updates out there, because we're actually going to be voting on stuff once, but then we're going to come back and re-vote again.
Yeah, I
So
see.
I don't want to give people the impression that something's been voted on, have people be, misinterpret that to mean that's going to be the final thing. So I think we'll have to talk about that, but it's something to consider. So thank you for bringing that up.
Sure.
Matt?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick statement about why the trustees have put in the request for the changes.
Sure.
This goes back to the original, when the charter was changed back in 2010. It was the result of a town study that kept the Board of Trustees as an elected position. At the time, the town had about 30 elected. Most of the committees that are in place now used to be elected. The trustees were the only one that were retained because according to the plan, they wanted to keep it as more of an independent position. When the town code, municipal code got adopted, the Board of Trustees was reduced to an advisory role. And then also in the charter, if you look under the section, it says that the library will be run according to MGL. I'm sorry, I'm coming up with a blank on the chapter. But three of those positions, the sections that deal with town libraries, that purposely exclude, city government excludes those sections, which include the trustees having control over the library assets, the requirement that the trustees make a report regarding any assets under their control, and that the treasurer will act as the town treasurer will act as a treasurer for the board. So basically going back, it just looked like it was ambiguous about what the council and the charter amendment folks meant at the time. We felt that they meant that it was supposed to be more of an independent board than exists now. And a couple weeks ago, we had a review. We had sent a request over to the town finance board, who gave us the town position that under current law, or their interpretation of current law, the trustees have no ability to raise money for the library and keep it separate from the town operating budget. So basically what we're trying to carve out is an ability of the trustees to have some control over gifts made to the library and any fundraising the trustees do for the library. So that's just a quick background about why we picked the sections that we did. There is also, while we highly approve of the current town manager, one of the powers given to the board was that the board is to recommend the library director before he's hired. The town went ahead and included us in the hiring process, but did not ask for our opinion or did not wait for our recommendation before hiring him. So we just put some clarifications and some powers around the library director's hiring. So I just wanted to give some context if you review our changes before the meeting, why we put those in, why we're requesting it.
Okay, that's good. And
finally,
I was on the original committee that drafted the charter, and I can tell you that the main reason that we kept that board elected was just as you said, we wanted it to be an independent organization that could operate without intervention from the rest of the operations of the town. So if there's some strengthening to that section of the charter that needs to occur, then we will certainly entertain that and look at that and work with you on that.
Yeah, right now the town is not treating us any differently than any other advisory board in the town. We can do what we want, but we don't have any ability to raise money or direct any power to direct any actions by the board, by the library.
I mean, we'll get into this more when we actually talk to you, but do you have any data that you looked at other towns to suggest that, towns that are, say, under the council manager form of government, that have libraries are conducting themselves in a certain manner that would benefit us knowing that ahead of time or not?
I've talked to some people that serve on library boards, and it runs the gamut from, boards that are happy to be just advisory, like Abington. The board over there does not, they're fine just being an advisory board. But if you look at other the actual cities, most of their libraries actually have a specific charter. So, I mean, we're just, I think we're caught in between. I don't think, I was in the town in 2010, and I know what was going on when we adopted the new charter, and I just don't think that the section, frankly, there were a lot of really big item issues that had to be addressed, and technicalities that, these three sections don't apply to a city government. I mean, I'm not at all surprised if something like that was not addressed at the time, given what was given how the process had to be run.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate you being with us tonight and look forward to talking
And
with you.
thanks a lot. Just this taste of what you guys have to go through and what you're doing. Thank you very much for taking this on. It's a thankless, tiring job that I really appreciate after watching what you do, how much work you're putting into it.
Oh, we're having a lot of fun. This is great.
I mean, you turn it into a drinking game. That's what you do. So.
Right, especially with these Zoom calls. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Matt, I will confirm with you, your attendance at our next meeting, because we're still not totally wrapped up with Article 2 yet. So I don't know how much time we're going to need to do that, but if it appears that most of the meeting will be dedicated to that, I don't want to shorten you. So it actually it'll either be the next meeting or the one after that, which is the 30th.
Okay. Frankly, I was a little bit relieved when I heard that the town wasn't targeting the April election for having anything done, which, takes some of the, I guess, the rush or the pressure off of making sure that something gets heard within the next, 6 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
Keep
good.
working through it. If I can get over to the meeting, I'll attend anyway, but I would appreciate it if just heads up if you think you're going to get to it or not.
Very good. Will do. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Oh, and I put in the chat, I'm sorry to hijack you one more time. I'm also on the Comprehensive Master Plan Committee meeting. There is a public forum on Friday to go over the current plan and what's out there. And we're trying really hard to get some more citizen input. So if any of you are free on next Monday the 7th.
Monday night, 7th. Okay.
Okay. Please check it out. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Will do. Appreciate that. Okay. That's the end of public comment for tonight. Do we have any action items for next meeting that we haven't already discussed? No. Okay. All right. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I, Thomas Golden, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I, Darren Weston, second the motion.
Thank you, Darren. I think you've got the record for having the most motions in one meeting. Motions and
The next
seconds.
meeting is,
Our next
the next
meeting
meeting
is
is what date?
the 16th, I believe, right? 2 weeks from tonight at 6 p.m. Remember the time now, 6 p.m. All right, great. We need to vote. So Josh, vote on adjournment.
Ed?
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay.
Josh.
Stay healthy and